Hi everyone, welcome back to the Mindshift Special Ed channel, your dedicated resource for everything related to special education. Today happens to be another beautiful day for us to have a discussion on the role of resource teachers in supporting students with disabilities. And guess what? Joining us today is Miss Hopkins, who happens to be a resource teacher who turns students' challenges into opportunities and learning into a journey. She's very experienced when it comes to providing the services or support services to students with disabilities in order for them to achieve their goals when it comes to teaching and learning. So let's welcome Miss Hopkins to the Mindshift Special Ed studio. You're welcome to the Mindshift Special Ed studio.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right. So Wagwan, I know you're from Jamaica.
Madam.
And currently you are in the US.
Yeah.
So let's just talk some patois. Wagwan.
Madam, you good?
Yeah, me good. Me want eat rice and peas.
Rice and peas. What you want with it?
Brown stew chicken.
Brown stew, not no jerk, no ackee and sawfish.
I've tried ackee and sawfish.
How was it?
It was so nice, Yeah, and I've tried your soup. You guys, your soup is somehow different.
Different, right? We have the yams, everything in there.
Everything in it, and then is it dumpling or what?
Dumplings made of flour.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, so I actually invited you to the Mindshift Special Ed studio for us to have a discussion, and I know we are going to gain a lot or learn a lot from you because of how you are highly experienced when it comes to providing academic support to students with disabilities. All right. So if you don't mind, can you share your journey for becoming a teacher?
I have been a special educator since 2012. Okay. So I've been at it for about 14 years now. I spent 10 years in Jamaica, 12 years in Jamaica, and my 13th and a half year in the US. It's a bit different from what I'm used to in Jamaica, as opposed to here. But here, it has made me realize that special education is not a field to play with. It has challenged me. It has also offered me the opportunity to better cater for the needs of the students that we have on our hands. In Jamaica, we didn't have so much resources. Here, we have more resources to cater for those students. And I wish that someday I'll be able to help my country to do the same as here.
That's very good. That's very good. Yeah, and that is why, as you said, here has actually challenged you.
Yes.
And you are really, so as you are providing your services, you are learning as well.
Yes.
And I hope that opportunity will come one day.
Yes, so I hope so. Well, at present, I'm actually helping a private school that I used to work for in Jamaica to kind of build the way they create their IEPs. Okay. So I have put them onto some of the softwares that we use here, like the Easy CBM. They have bought that now for themselves. Okay. Also, they have bought, I think, iExcel too. So they're trying to incorporate these into their program to better be able to identify where the students are, the grade levels, so that they can meet them there and give them the opportunity to learn.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. Thank you very much for sharing with us your journey of, becoming a resource teacher and then moving to the US here. Yeah, that's fine. This discussion is one of the discussions that I actually want us to send a message out there for people to really know the roles that resource teachers are actually providing when it comes to the education of students with disabilities. Because there are a lot of misconceptions out there that resource teachers don't do. They just have something small to offer, right? Meanwhile, we have a lot of packages towards the education of students with disabilities. Yeah. So, first of all, who is a resource teacher?
Well, a resource teacher can be considered as a case manager. Okay. All right, because we provide what is called academic support for students with disabilities, students with an IEP. Okay. We are the ones that work on their IEP goals to ensure that they meet their IEP goals and come as close as possible to grade level standards or what you call performing on the same level with their same age peers. Okay. Yeah. And we are also the ones that maintain and create the IEPs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that is fine, you know, but most people don't know that is what resource teachers are doing.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Sometimes they just limit it or restrict it to just we are providing extra support to, students who are struggling when it comes to academic aspect or areas.
Well, yes.
But you know what? The most funny thing is that let me make something clear here. We or the resource teachers are actually doing a lot.
Yes.
Why? You see, a student will go to, just give me one of the general education classes. Let's say math class. A student will go to a math class and comes back to, or go to the resource class with a math problem to be solved, right? Or to be helped with by the resource teacher. The same student is going to that same resource classroom with an assignment from biology class. These are two different areas: maths, biology, and probably let's add another, because at the end of the day, the student is going to be having 3 classes in addition to the resource class, making it 4, right? So the student will come to your resource class with 3 assignments from different general education classes. And you, the special education teacher, whether you like it or not, you have to help the students.
And we have to provide them with the fundamental skills to be able to do these assignments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to create a lesson to reinforce the skill that they have learned from the general education classroom. So you can see we are actually providing a lot. Yeah. So how do you, as a resource teacher, how do you collaborate? Because resource teachers don't only work alone. Well, you collaborate with other professionals.
Well, that's true. And I at my school I collaborate with parents, collaborate with teachers, gen ed teachers, and exploratory teachers, other professionals like the OTs, the speech therapists. We collaborate with even the persons in the janitorial staff to ensure that these students are being catered for in all areas of the school. So when we collaborate with the gen ed class teachers, this is a moment where we ask them, other than what I am seeing in my class, what do you see? What do you see this child needs to be helped with? What basic fun skills this child doesn't have that I need to offer this child when they're in my classroom?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so you made mention of collaborating with general education teachers. That is why the resource teacher is like their systemic, because you are a case manager. You could see that you have access to every class when it comes to the students' schedules, so you can monitor. So do you know, I have another name for resource teachers? I always call resource teachers to be second parents. Am I right? I don't know.
That's true. In my culture, we use a term we call the head cook and bottle washer. Okay. That's a term in Jamaica to say that we do everything.
Exactly.
We are the everything. Yeah. So everything always come back to the resource teacher. So we actually help a lot with these students. Sometimes I've had experiences where not only my students or students with disabilities, I've had them teachers asking me for help with other students in their classes, and I've provided those assistance.
And at the end of the day, the student was able to excel.
Yes.
That's a wonderful thing, you know. And I like that. What's the term again?
We're head cook and bottle washer.
Head cook
and bottle washer.
Yes. So that is what resource teachers are. Because we are actually offering a lot when it comes to educating students with disabilities. But you know what? I think resource teachers, their reward is in heaven.
That is true.
It's true. You know, sometimes I'll even forget about my food, and then I just have to be running up and down, making sure that every student is catered for.
Yes.
And you know, it's like when it comes to not just only the resource students, the itinerant or the consultative student, you know, they are indirectly receiving services from the resource teachers.
Yes, that's true.
And the most difficult aspect is they don't come to us. They don't come to the resource classes, but they are in their general education classroom, but we have to provide the services. Yeah. So, you know, in doing all these things, parents are very important that you get to involve. So how do you involve parents and families in the process of educating or providing your services as a resource teacher?
Well, one way I do so by, other than from the IEP meetings, I always try to call parents or I send a text. Sometimes I do handwritten notes and give it to the kids. But at times you may have a challenge where if the kid reads it and they think it's something bad, they don't want to take it. So I send a text message or I call them to just give them a little update of how the child is performing, what are some of the things they can do at home to help the child, what are some of the things they can do to support me in helping this child.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you know, and sometimes some parents will be like, say you are the resource teacher, special education teacher, what are you doing? They'll be asking questions like, oh, what are you doing? You know, so what I normally do as a resource teacher is that I try to explain what an IEP is.
Is right.
And especially when you invite a parent to an IEP meeting and you are reading, you are giving the current data, and the parents realize that the student or the son or the daughter is performing below grade level, he or she might think it's general.
Right.
You understand? Because I think I've encountered that, and then I have to explain to the parent that no, this is totally different. These IEP goals are actually when it comes to the services he or she the student is receiving in the resource class.
Yes.
Apart from receiving the support services when it comes to the student academic areas in the general education classrooms. Yeah, so I explained, and then the parent was, oh, okay, that is fine. And you know what? There was a day a parent, I think, it was open house, parent came and then we're talking and all those kind of stuff. So I realized that another general education teacher came to my class with a parent, and the problem was, okay, this my son is facing challenges when it comes to a math course. It was a math course, I think geometry also. But it comes back to the resource.
Right.
So you have to make sure that the student pass. And guess what? That's why it's always good as a resource teacher. You have to have, a good relationship
with the parent.
Yes, with the parent and then the general education teacher. So the three of us brought our minds together, and then we're able to help the student to excel.
Yes.
So in providing resource support services or academic support services to the IEP student, it's always good for us to have a good relationship with. And that is what I wanted to, I want us to discuss as well. So how is how do you create a good relationship with the other professional in order to make sure that the student is able to excel?
Well, I can give you one, I can call it a success story.
Okay.
Now, I have a 7th grade student. She came to me from elementary school as a resource student. I've had her through 6th grade, then she went over to 7th grade. When I looked at her map scores, she only had like one goal, which was a math goal. When I looked at her map scores, I realized that it was trending upward.
Okay.
Now, I spoke with her math teacher, and when I spoke with the math teacher, he was saying to me that, oh, she's performing well based on what we were seeing in 6th grade. It's a different child since she came back and she's more focused. The fear of math is no longer there. So I said to him that this is what I'm proposing. After the first 2 grading periods, that would be 18 weeks. So the first 9 weeks and the second 9 weeks.
Okay.
After the first 2 grading periods, let us see if she can be moved from a resource student to a consultative student. And I said, I need your help to work with her. Fortunately, they came in with the whole flex thing. So that gave me an extra period during the school day to work with her.
Okay.
Then we brought her parent on board. So her mom came. We brought her, told her what we were seeing. She was seeing it too. And we told her the plans that we had.
Okay.
And the parent worked hand in hand with us.
Okay.
Until that student went from like a 180 on her map testing to a 229 in math.
Wow.
And then she went from being a B and a C student to having a 98 average in math.
Wow.
For both grading periods.
That's so wonderful.
So she was able to start this year because we had to have her annual early.
Okay.
And instead of doing a change of placement, she mastered all her goals on easy CBM. She scored 100 on grade level material, and she scored 100 and I think 98. So we gave her like 3 and 298 on grade level material up to the proficient level. Mm-hmm. And she was able to start January 7th as a consultative student.
You see, that is good. So is it that collaboration that you guys did actually help the student? Yeah, that's a success story. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's always good. You know, that's what I always say. Resource teachers, we have a lot to provide.
Yes.
You have to build a team.
And the small wins, that's what encourages us as resource students, as resource teachers. Yeah, that's what encourages, because to see a child move from 180 to even 200, that's a big jump.
Yeah. I always tell my students that, do they know the feelings or the excitement behind when you, or as it is, me being the teacher, when I open the system to check their grades and then they are pass in all the 4 classes.
Yes,
that brings a lot. It's a good feeling as a resource teacher.
Yes.
We don't monitor. That was the day I explained to one student of mine that, you think I'm so concerned about only my class? No. It is my responsibility as a resource teacher for you to pass in each and every class.
You know, my students know that on a Friday, like coming this Friday, everybody is trying to get their missing work in and get it marked so that the grades can go in, because every Friday I have what is called a power school day.
Yeah.
And that is a day when I check and every grade below 75 has to be explained, because when I click on that, if you have too many missing work, you have to explain it. Why do you have it? What's going on? Aren't you able to do it? What's happening?
Yeah. I always tell my students that if at the end of the day, or at the end of every grading period, if you're not able to pass in each of your classes or classes, then it means that I've not achieved my aim as a resource teacher. So if I try my possible best and then I realize that you are still not, then that is why I have to get in touch with the parents and also make sure I get in touch with the individual teachers,
right?
So that we can work together as a team
in
order to
right now,
success.
All the very teachers that I work with know that once these students are not doing what they should do in the classes, they shoot me an email, send me the work in my email, I print it in my room, and you're going to do that work.
Exactly.
That's me, because they're always saying, oh, I have an IEP, so it's okay if I get a 60. A 60 is good. I said nope.
No. IEP does not mean that you should be getting low grade.
Nope.
No. It's a different package altogether.
75 and over, I will accept a 75, but anything over. Yeah.
That's great. That's why, like I said earlier, we are actually having a lot when it comes to providing our services to students with disabilities. And most people out there, they don't really know.
No.
Yeah. So there was a day I have to explain to some of my colleague teachers that, these are some of the things that we actually put in place to make sure that students, I said, then that's actually a lot. I said, yeah.
But can I tell you, the other day I had an experience with a student has a behavior goal, and there is a part of it that says that when she gets overly excited, meaning start to get in altercations, she needs to take a break.
Okay.
But the aim is, because she's in 8th grade and she's heading into 9th grade, we want her to recognize when she needs to take that break, not another adult or another student to be telling her. Now she started to abuse the break. Now she's just asking, can I go to this person? Can I go over here? Can I go over here? And I was held responsible to educate that team of teachers on how the break works, what the goal means.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. It should not be abused, especially when it comes to students' accommodations.
Right.
Those accommodations should not be abused. They should be used at the right time.
Because the teachers, they don't really, because they say it's an IEP and it's a legal document, everybody will give the break because they don't want to be held accountable legally that the child does not get. But when it's been abused, that's when we need to stop it. So they had to be re-educated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fine. So how do you, when it comes to assessment, how do you assess students when it comes to their unique needs?
Well, I use formal assessment and then I use my teacher assessment observations.
Okay.
So I use the programs that are stipulated for us to use.
Yeah.
I also go ahead because sometimes you have kids who are performing so well in the academic support classes,
Okay.
but when they're in the gen ed classes, the teachers are seeing something different. So the
Okay.
teacher's input is also important
Okay.
in my when I'm doing my assessment, and sometimes I will have to ask the parents to give their input
Okay.
because a child is a different child based on the individual they interact with and the environment
Exactly.
and the persons that are around them. Because I have students that don't have any behavior issues in my class because it's smaller, but their behavior is so horrible in the other classes because they have triggers. So I have to get everybody's input. Sometimes I even have to go and get admin's input.
Okay.
What do they see? What they can shed another light on something else that I don't know about. Yeah.
So let's use this discussion as an opportunity to to talk about the other professionals that are part of the IEP team. So we have the administrator, we have the resource teacher,
Yes.
we have the parent, we have the guidance counselor,
Yes. And then we have
general education teachers.
the other professionals.
Okay.
That's if they have related services.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. If related services, when it comes to maybe hearing or vision or something like that.
And sometimes we have to have like the school
Psychologists to come in as well. Yeah, that's good. So you see all these things, and we have to, as resource teacher, you have to be a moderator.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you'll be the one who organize the meeting, moderate the meeting, make sure that each and every team member brings his or her inputs or contributions, so that, and all these inputs are actually gearing towards the student's success.
Yes.
So that's good. All right. Thank you very much for coming for us to have this discussion. This discussion will actually help people out there for them to know the rules that resource teachers are actually doing. And I've actually learned a new word from Jamaica. And that name, I would just say it's a nickname given to resource teachers.
Yes.
Because of the workload that we are actually doing, or because of the packages that we actually have in stock in providing services to students with disabilities. In providing your services as a resource teacher and all those kind of things, in order to make a change in students with disabilities life, right? I think it's not easy. So what are some of the challenges that you encounter when you are providing your services to students with disabilities as a resource teacher?
Well, my biggest challenge often lies with the students, their unwillingness sometimes.
Okay.
And the amount of energy you have to put behind encouraging them just to do or just to try. And the other one is, even though we have so much parents who are involved, we would like to see more parents getting involved. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. And you guys, sometimes when you encounter a lot of difficulties or challenges in providing the services, when the student end up passing a grade, passing a class or getting a good grade in of his or her classes, the student will come back and thank you, because I've encountered a lot of them like that. Hey, Mr. Dean, if not because of you, I wouldn't have passed geometry. And I say, yes, that is why I'm your resource teacher.
Yes.
So sometimes I have to explain to them that I'm your case manager. Do you know what that means? It's like I'm a second parent.
And you have to be behind them. Yes.
And students will always be students.
Yes.
And like I said, we work with teachers in general. We work with, from our heart. Exactly.
That is why sometimes it is very disheartening when you are trying and sometimes it seems that the parents aren't trying.
Yeah.
It's very disheartening. But I'd like to see more parents doing the do.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see the students having the same fire and the same energy that I have for them to learn and to pass.
Yes, that's good. I think that is why sometimes the open house and then parent conference, that's why those things are really good. Because the open house and parent teacher conference are actually helping.
Right.
Yeah, that is I think that is a big opportunity for us to use to create good relationship with our student parents. Aside from calling them, and you know, some of them, because they don't know the numbers are strange or text or whatever. You know, I know there's talking point too.
Some of them even block the numbers.
Yes. Yeah. So the open house or the parent teacher conference is one of the biggest platform for us to have a chance to create good relationship with them. Yes, so that is good. You know, I would like to have you once again for us to have a discussion another time. All right, so until then, please stay connected and inclusive for more contents like this. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.